Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ole Walls House! Let's get fucking listening, baby! Yes!
Ooh, welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back again, ladies and gentlemen. Episode number 88 coming your way. And as always, I like to just start the episode saying thank you to everybody. So thank you. I appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you watching, listening. And as always, you know what you got to do. That I got to do that housekeeping for you guys. If you guys could rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. Share's the big one. Share it with anybody you know. Let them know. Ole Walls House. That's the place to be. Fun show coming. We got all the week one NFL stuff to talk about. Talking about the Green Bay Packers a lot, obviously. There's a couple of fights I talk about, some passing thoughts. We got to talk about some college football. We talk about the Cleveland Guardians a little bit. No real golf to talk about, so none of that. But Ryder Cup is on the horizon. Looking to do a preview episode of that the week that comes out. And just a quick thing on the release. Looks like Tuesday release is going to stay. It'll either come out Tuesday first thing in the morning like usual, or if there's like a Monday night game that pushes it late, we'll see if we can get it out on our normal schedule as Boomer scratches himself back here. And if not, we'll get it out like Tuesday midday or later in the day. So Tuesday seems to be the plan going forward, is to keep it on Tuesday. So like I said, fun show. Before we get there though, got to talk about some Liquid IV. Liquid IV, category-winning hydration brand, made for fueling your well-being, and their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine. I do use it in my daily routine now. One stick in my water, 5 essential vitamins, 2 times faster hydration than water alone. I use it right first thing in the morning. That's kind of how I start my day. I like that it's convenient packaging. I can take it on the road with me. I travel a lot for work. It's right there with me. All sorts of flavors. You've heard me say them a bunch. 1 stick, 16 ounces of water, 2 times faster hydration than water alone, 12 delicious, refreshing flavors to keep your hydration routine exciting. 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. 3 times the electrolytes of sports drinks, premium ingredients, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Liquid IVs donate over 39 million servings of water in 50-plus countries around the world. So here's what you do. You go to liquidiv.com or the link below in the show notes and use the promo code OWH. O for old, W for walls, H for house. Promo code OWH gets you 20% off on your entire order. So shot better hydration starting today using the promo code OWH. All right, let's get to the show. NFL Week 1 is in the books, and the Green Bay Packers, let's start there. The Green Bay Packers are 1-0. We still own you, Bears. We still own you. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Bring Jordan Love in. Even Jordan Love's going to fucking give it to you losers down in Chicago. Let's go, baby. 38-20 win. Green Bay starts off the Jordan Love era with a W. Yeah, there was some good. There was some bad. I've got some optimism. I've got a little pessimism. I've got more optimism than I thought I was going to have, even though I kind of had a good hope that the Packers were going to win. There was a little doubt in my mind that the Bears might beat them because I didn't think the Packers were going to be that good this year. And I'm still not sold that they're going to be a great team, and I'm still not sold they're going to make the playoffs. But I had some optimism. I had some optimism from what I saw, and, it started right from the start. Just to, the Bears go for it on 4th and 1. They had a third and pretty short, too. Packers get the stop and then turn right around and score. And that first drive was run heavy. It was all Aaron Jones. It was weird that after that, he didn't get a carry again until the first possession in the second half. First possession in the second half was the next carry Aaron Jones got after that first drive. That's a thing that can happen sometimes for whatever reason. in the way they run this offense with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Sometimes they seem to swap series as opposed to, be more set on downs. And you will see, you'll see like one guy take a series, and then the next series, the first series is Aaron Jones, the second series can be A.J. Dillon. And if it's a short series, then a long series. And then, you come back and it's, end of the quarter and you're trying to pass it downfield. Like shit like that happens. And I feel like it's happened before. I know it's happened before where I've been like, holy shit, we had great success with Aaron Jones and we just completely went away from him. And it was one of those things kind of in this where it felt like they just kind of went away from him again. But it was a good drive, capped off with, I believe that was the first love throw to Romeo Doubs. Let me double check that. Yep. It was a little slant route across the middle, which if you watched the game, you saw that was where like 95% of Jordan Love's throwing success was slants across the middle. So we got to game plan up some slants across the middle and find ways to get those open, because those seem to be his bread and butter. That was, everything that every reason why anybody says he's going to be successful. Oh, that Philly game last year. And that boils down to one slant across the middle to Christian Watson, who did not play, by the way. But yeah, so it was a good start. Kind of stalled out a little bit. Not much happened. Then they kind of broke it open in the second half with another, kind of all Aaron Jones run. Not just like a run, like an all Aaron Jones drive. There was a throw, but it was a throw into the backfield. I mean, it might have went forward, but it wasn't a throw. So the two first offensive drives that led to touchdowns were very much dominated by Aaron Jones. He led the way. And his second touchdown was, when did this one happen? This was in the third quarter. With about halfway through the third quarter, he caught a pass at the 30 and then ran for 35 yards for a touchdown. Came up, it was Love's second touchdown pass. He came up like limping a little bit, like holding his hammy. Came up a little lame, little scary. He didn't play after that. Said he's fine. Said he didn't pull his hamstring. Said that was more just precautions, you will, that he could have gone in and played, but the score didn't dictate that he needed to, and LaFleur was just kind of taking it easy. So a little scary. This team's been bitten by the injury bug big time. You also had Jaden Reed go down and, was helped off the field, couldn't walk. That last I saw was cramps. And Quay Walker, who at the end of an absolutely electric interception for a touchdown return, ends up having to go get checked out for concussion. Last time I checked, there was no news on that. Let me just double check that real quick here, and I can see if there's anything new has popped up. Yeah, nothing still. So hopefully, that's not too bad. Doesn't come up with a concussion or anything like that, and we have to deal with that. Hopefully he's all right. So, a couple of things to worry about in injury. The big thing coming in this year, obviously, was Jordan Love, just to kind of get to that. If you look at his stat line, it's going to jump off the page. First guy with 3 touchdown passes in the NFL this year. I don't know if what Dak end up throwing for last night? Oh, he didn't even throw for a touchdown. He went for 143 yards. The defense really got him. We'll get into that in a little bit here. But yeah, so Love, only guy with 3 touchdown passes in the NFL currently. 15 of 27 for 245 and 3 touchdowns. So that stat line looks really good. But if you saw the game and, you kind of look at the receiver stat lines, it starts to come back to life a little bit. Let's pull up the receiver stats here real quick. Aaron Jones, 2 receptions for 86 yards. I mean, he went for 35 on one on a slant route, and then, 50 yards on the other one that was just out of the backfield. So, I mean, if you just take 50 yards off, he's throwing for 195. You take the 35 off. You don't want to take the 35 off because that was a slant across the middle. Like, he did have to make a throw. But, if you take the 50 off on what was essentially a run by different circumstances. And hey, that happens with every team. Rodgers used to pick those up too, and all the good quarterbacks do. But it makes the stat line. You start looking into it, it looks less impressive. There were some good throws, not a ton. There was a phenomenal throw for the third touchdown, the second touchdown to Dobbs. It was, kind of a back shoulder type pass, threw it over top of the defender right on him for like a 10-yard touchdown. That was a phenomenal throw. Absolutely phenomenal. I will take zero away. That is a throw that I look at and I go, holy shit, there's potential here. I see potential to be, good and things of that nature. Like I'm excited when I see that throw. Seeing some of the other throws, I was like, okay, he's making throws NFL quarterbacks should make. I'm happy to see that. I'm not blown away yet. Like I said, if it wasn't a slant outside of that pass to, Dobbs, and, the other big gainer was the kind of the, I don't even want to say broken play. And there was the botched snap, and then Musgrave is wide open and almost fucking falls over, or he should have scored a touchdown on that one, actually. There's a lot of yardage picked up on that play and the Aaron Jones, like, sideways pass. So, happy? Yes. Blown away? No. I'm talking with the roommate, and she goes, whoa, what's this? Does it make you feel different about what's going to, how you feel about their season? I was like, no, not really. I mean, I thought this was a game they were going to win, even when I came into this year feeling super pessimistic. I wouldn't say I'm feeling super pessimistic anymore. But I'm not like ready to, be like, oh yeah, hell yeah, we're winning the division, we're going to the playoffs. I mean, they got the Falcons next week. I think that's another winnable game. It's in Atlanta, it's at noon. I'm okay. I'm good with that. So that's a winnable game. It's very winnable. So call it 2-0. Saints, just let's be super optimistic and say they beat the Saints at home. Okay, I can get there. 3-0. Host the Lions. Lions looked good Thursday. 3-1. At the Raiders, at a night game, Raiders looked okay. I think that's a loser. 3-2. At the Broncos, let's say they beat the Broncos. 4-2. I don't think they beat the Vikings. That's 4-3. Hosting the Rams looked better. Let's just say 4-4. At the Steelers, we'll give them a win. 5-4. Hosted Chargers. I think the Chargers are a much better team. 5-5. At the Lions, 5-6. Hosted Chiefs, 5-7. At the Giants, that was when I kind of penciled in for them to lose, but maybe not. 6-7. Host the Bucks, 7-7. At the Panthers, maybe 8-7. At the Vikings, 8-8. Host the Bears, 9-8. I think I was pretty optimistic in that, and that's not even dumping one you think they should win. Like, that's giving them wins on everything they should. So, yeah, maybe 9-8. Maybe I'm a little more open to 9-8 than I was previously when I thought 9-8 would be fantastic. Maybe 9-8 is just really good. So, got to avoid the injuries. Like I said, there's 3 big injuries kind of lingering like they almost happened. So, yeah, overall, I'm happy. I'm happy in week 1. There's something to build off of. I don't want to, I wasn't watching the game and wanted to jump out of a fucking 5th story window. But I wasn't like, oh shit, yeah, we're going back to the playoffs, no doubt. So, good week. Good week 1. We'll go with that while we go to the rest of the league here. Before we dive in, a couple of big contracts. 2 big contracts. Nick Bosa, 5-year, $170 million extension. I think he's locked up for 6 years now. $88 million of that is guaranteed. And Joe Burrow, 5-year extension, $275 million, $219 of which is guaranteed. And speaking of Joe Burrow, I made a list of letdowns in week 1, and he tops the fucking list. The Bengals get fucking boat raced by Cleveland in the rain. They don't score a point in the first half. Not 1 point. And I believe that's like the second consecutive quarter he's not scored a point against the Browns. Or it's the second consecutive first half. Something like that. Don't score a touchdown at all. Only score 3 points in the game. 24-3 loss. That is disgusting. Disgusting. Hey, maybe the Browns are better than I gave them credit, but like, you're the Bengals. You're supposed to be Super Bowl contenders, and you're getting boat raced by Cleveland. And again, maybe it's a better Cleveland team. Deshaun Watson looked better, but oof. Burrow is now 1-5 against Cleveland. 1-5. 1-5. T. Higgins had 0 fantasy points. Did not touch the football. Did not touch it. Not one time. Oh, I did see this. This was a good thing. Kyle Brandt tweeted it. Week 1 is a liar. Like, some teams who look really great week 1 are going to suck the rest of the year, and a team who looks like shit week 1 is going to be a playoff contender. Like, this could be the Bengals very obviously. So, everything in week 1 is like a giant freak out, but, sometimes you're right. Like, sometimes you see a week 1, it's like, holy shit. I don't think that's the Bengals. I think they got it. It was a crummy day. The Browns are maybe better than we thought, and they had a bad day, and it just kind of snowballed. I fully expect the Bengals to bounce back next week. A team, I didn't even watch this game, so I should probably not. I watched very little. I watched some of it, very little of it. But the fucking Giants get absolutely truck sticked. Just blown the fuck out of their home stadium by the Dallas Cowboys. They come down, drive right down the field, botch a snap, field goal block, and then it's fucking all over. All fucking over. 40-0 is the final tally. And just oofta. I mean, if you look at the stat lines for the fucking, even for the Cowboys, like 143 passing yards. They only ran it for, that's 94. That's 122 yards. Like 265 yards is all the fucking Cowboys got. The fucking Giants. 104 passing yards from Daniel Jones. 2 interceptions. Sacked 7 times. Can't work. Saquon runs 12 times for 51 yards. Daniel Jones runs for 43 yards. But, man, just, from a team that I think people thought were going to, they made the playoffs last year. I think people thought we're thinking good things of them. I saw them home dog in primetime. That's rule number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to jump all over that. I even went the fucking money line. What a disaster of a fucking pick that was. Oh, oofta. Oofta. Some other disappointings, some letdowns. The Chiefs. I know they got the Lions, who, are kind of America's darling right now. They finished the year pretty well last year, knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. But man, when you got receivers with hands of stone out there, Kadarius Toney especially, like that's a big letdown. I mean, world champs coming back and then getting beat in the home opener. Ooh, not fun. Not fun at all. Pat Mahomes. 226, 2 touchdowns, interception. Not great. I mean, receiving, though, like, just listen to the names. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's supposed to be like their third guy, just like their deep threat. Jay Watson. That's Justin Watson is a wide receiver. Ever heard of him? Not really. Noah Gray. I mean, obviously the tight ends are going to get something. Pacheco had 4 catches. Rashee Rice had 3 catches. Jerick McKinnon caught 1. Like, it's their receiving core, not great. Now, all this said, no Travis Kelce, Chris Jones is holding out, losing $1 million a game. $1 million. You got to sign a big fucking contract on the back end to make up for that. If he's going to miss 8 games and sacrifice $8 million, you know how far $8 million makes on itself? It's a discussion for another time. But so those 2 are out. So those 2 are out. So, there is a little bit of, I don't want to say an asterisk, because everybody plays hurt in the NFL at some point in the year. Everybody has to do it. If you don't, you're just the luckiest fucking team ever. And it's the teams who can, get through the stretches where they are hurt. And you'd have to think, if you look at the stretch of the Chiefs, they're like, hey, we hurt, and, we're opening the season with the Lions. We should be able to win that game even if we are dinged up a little bit. But, hey, Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the league, and he does a lot. He does a lot. I mean, there was a point where it was late in the game. they ran on a third down. They ran they ran a tight end in under center and tried to have him sneak in. It's like that works better when it's like Travis Kelce, an absolute stud, doing it. Otherwise, put the ball in Mahomes' hand. Very interesting. They also went for it like 4th and 25 in that game, which was interesting too. So another letdown. This one is more of a letdown for the team than for people watching. J.K. Dobbins, also a letdown for my fantasy team. Shreds his Achilles tendon, tears his Achilles tendon, breaks it, pops it, whatever it is. He's done for the year, scores a touchdown, and then is done for the year. Pretty heartbreaking for the Ravens. I think he figured in to be a pretty prominent part of that offense. Pretty heartbreaking for my fantasy football team. I'm now down Cooper Kupp and J.K. Dobbins, my number 1 receiver and number 1 running back, so we're going to have to make some moves there. And I write this, and this is going to take me back to the Chiefs too. I wrote, Lamar also looks a little sloppy. He had 2 or 3 fumbles. There were a lot of fumbles in the league. Tannehill had a couple. Who else had a couple fumbles? Did Bryce Young fumble a couple times? There were fumbles all over. And I said on Thursday night, I was talking to some friends of the pod, actually, Ethan, MJ, Billy was on there. So some friends of the pod, we were all on a chat, and we're talking about how we're not sure if these teams are any good, talking about the Lions and the Chiefs, that they look sloppy. And I thought that was a theme the whole weekend. A lot of the time was that the teams look sloppy. And, there was a point where I caught the Saints game on Red Zone, and they're like, this is the Saints' only drive of the preseason the starters had. They scored a touchdown. This is their next drive. Like, that was the second time the starters had played together, and they have a brand new fucking quarterback. And this is their second drive together. It's week 1. Like, hey, maybe they do need to play a little bit more in the preseason. Now, I get why they don't. Like, 100%. It's become such big business. The contracts are so huge. The coaches don't have 2 years to, explain. You got to win. You got to win now. You got to win often, and you got to keep winning. So I get why people don't play in the preseason. Like, I'm not out here on a quest to be like, old man makes his hand, got to play in the preseason. It's not going to happen. I get it. I understand it. I'm just saying, you can understand why the first week of the season maybe looks a little sloppier. The gameplay doesn't look so great. Only one quarterback threw for 3 touchdowns. There was I forget what else I saw. There was some other stat about people scoring touchdowns. So, I understand. I just want to throw that out there. Now, on the flip side, there were some teams who looked good. Number 1, the San Francisco 49ers went to Pittsburgh, flew across the country, played the early game, and just absolutely curb stomped the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brock Purdy, not a pumpkin. No pumpkin sightings yet. Christian McCaffrey busts a big one like he always does. That defense looks great. Whew, they look good, man. The 49ers look exactly like the team that is trying to march their way right back to the NFC title game and go right back to the Super Bowl. Well, not back to. They weren't there last year, but right back to the NFC title game with a healthy quarterback, hopefully, and get themselves back in a Super Bowl again. Washington Commanders, new ownership. They had the lowest attendance in the league last year. They sell out the first game. The place is bumping. They get a win, albeit over the Cardinals. But, that's sometimes you just got to get wins like that, and they're ugly. The Rams bounce back, have a good game this week as they pick up a win over the Seahawks. And Matt Stafford had himself a nice day. 24 of 38 for 334 yards. No touchdowns, but big win. I'm calling it the bounce back year for the Rams. Like, can they bounce back? They had the post Super Bowl kind of letdown year, and can they bounce back? And keep going. The Dolphins go to San Diego. They say fuck you, Chargers, and they go in there and they pick up a big win despite missing the extra point late that left the Chargers a chance. Talk about stat lines. Let's talk about Tua Tagovailoa. 28 of 45. 466 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's finding Tyreek Hill to the X degree. 11 catches, 215, 2 TDs. The end of that game was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So that was a fun one, too. But good looks from the Dolphins. A big road win to start the year. A couple other teams just to kind of keep our eyes on. Eagles, Patriots. Patriots make that interesting late. They, they fall down 16-0, kind of get back in it a little bit in the second quarter, then fall back down. They were down, I think, as much as, so it would have been 25-14, and then they had a couple chances late. Hurts had a fumble as well, so, but the Eagles survive. Anything else on here? Baker Mayfield gets a win. Oh, I forgot to mention this with letdowns. First round picks in their first start since 2003 when David Carr of the Houston Texans got a win. Since then, first round picks are 0-14-1 in games in their first game. 1-14 against the spread, and the Falcons pick up a win over the Panthers and Bryce Young, who did not have his most fun day out there. Bijan Robinson with a hell of a move to start that game off, and then kind of falls by the wayside to, I've already forgot the guy's name, who picked up the other couple touchdowns for them. Where are we at here? Algier. I don't know why I forgot. Tyler Algiers ends up with a couple touchdowns for the Falcons. So, one last thing, and then we're kind of going to move on here. Sean Payton opened up the game with an onside kick. Just right back to his roots. Gotta love it. My man loves good onside kick to open some shit up. So that's kind of the recap. Like I said, a lot to like for a lot of teams, a lot to dislike for a lot of teams, as will be the fact when everybody plays, half of them have to win and half of them have to lose. And when half of them, when a quarter of them look really good, a quarter of them are going to look really bad, and then there's going to be those kind of teams in the middle. So, fun week one. Absolutely fucking love the NFL. It was a great day. Looking forward to Jets Bills here in just a little bit. I'm hoping to have a recap that we'll toss in right after that for this little Monday Night Football addendum, if you will. The addendum is back! Wowzers, people. Wowzers. That was a hell of an ending to kind of a wild game. Like, holy shit balls. That all happened. I mean, Aaron Rodgers goes down on like the fourth play of the game. And we're just in it. People are talking about how fast can we flex this game out. I mean, the memes and the pictures and the tweets was just all incredible. I mean, I saw how fast can we flex out of this, all the good shit. Let me see what else I saved here. What else did I save? I know there are new flex scheduling rules, but can they flex out of this game at halftime? David Bakhtiari going absolutely hard in the paint about how many more players have to get hurt on artificial turf. You care more about soccer players than us. You plan to remove all artificial turf for the World Cup coming up, so it's clearly feasible. I'm sick of this. Do better. He's going to get fined. How quickly can Ross Tucker, how quickly can someone get the Jets fan flipping the bird on the internet? The tweet directly before that on my timeline is Big Cat showing it. Jets have been forced to play multiple QBs due to injury or ineffectiveness in 3 consecutive primetime games. Matt Williams, there is no such thing as a lock. There was a boosted bet, I guess this is on DraftKings, I think. Aaron Rodgers over 0.5 passing yards. Whoopsie, that one doesn't hit. So just absolutely incredible out here in these streets today. Aaron Rodgers, you're seeing a lot of stuff. Got x-rayed on the ankle, came back negative. But there are a lot of people out there who are saying Achilles looks like his calf kind of exploded up his leg. So who knows? First half, kind of a shit game. And then all of a sudden, like super late, this game comes alive. Garrett Wilson, absolutely incredible catch to tie the game. Zach Wilson, not a great throw, and Garrett Wilson, just absolutely incredible catch. Tips it to himself. Brees Hall was just going nuts. He was busting off big runs. They were really going to him. Big play for the Jets to go for it late. 4th and inches on the Bills 17. Very easy spot to kick the field goal. And they said, no. We're going for it. It only ended up kicking a field goal, but milked a lot of time off the clock. Huge call in the game was a absolutely awful pass interference on the Bills, on Stephon Diggs. It looked like Sauce Gardner just kind of lost a little bit of his footing, and instead of being much closer to field goal range, they ended up having to back up. Doesn't do much because they end up making the field goal kick to tie it off a little left upright doinks on the way in, and then Bills go 3 and out and then punt it. And it was one of those punts. As soon as the guy was dancing around, he started making some moves. He missed a couple tackles, and then all of a sudden there's like this open lane, and you're like, holy shit. Like, you have that moment watching the game, you're like, oh, is this gonna happen? And you're kind of looking, and you're looking at the field, and you're like, okay, I can only see so much with the way like TV cameras work. And you're like, is there gonna be someone just appear, that's been out of view on the field? But there wasn't enough of a person. He takes it all the way to the house. I had the Jets tonight, plus 2.5, so I was just rooting for not overtime. I was like, this game just fucking end with them winning, please. But I got lucky, got an overtime. A couple additional thoughts. The Jets defense is fucking for real. Josh Allen, not a great game. Kind of goes back to my earlier thoughts. Like, maybe these dudes need to play a little preseason. I know they're not gonna, but maybe they should. Josh Allen, 0-5. 0-5 in overtime games in his career now. And then, of course, I was ready to jump all over the Jets bandwagon this year and become just an all-in Rodgers fan. Not to be. Doesn't seem. He was, carted away, helped off the field, didn't walk off the field, was in a boot. Like I said, many people thinking Achilles. X-rays did come back negative, but, MRIs and more to come. So that sucks. That sucks for a multitude of reasons. A, I was looking forward to see what Rodgers could do with the Jets. B, I wanted to get the best possible draft pick for the Packers, and we needed Rodgers to play 65% of the snaps, and Lombardi's out here like, Michael Lombardi, 70%. Like, aren't you supposed to be a fucking NFL insider? And then C, like, what if Rodgers doesn't play again? Like, that's a very distinct possibility that he just does not play football again. Like, if this is an Achilles and it's a year-long, rehab and things of that nature, and maybe he doesn't make it back, it's a thing. It's out there that maybe he doesn't play football, which would stink. Would absolutely stink, because he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, one of the best of our generation, and it would suck. It would just flat out suck if he didn't play football. So, what a great week one. Great week one. NFL rules. I fucking love the NFL so much. It's the best sport ever to watch. So, this was great, ladies and gentlemen. This was great. So, let's keep rolling with the show. The Fighting Hens just didn't have enough firepower when they matched up against the Penn State Nittany Lions at Beaver Stadium. Just, there's a route, and then there's a route, and then there's what happened in Happy Valley on Saturday afternoon. 63-7. Penn State defeats the Delaware Fighting Blue Hens. I will say it was a little annoying because it was on Peacock, and it wasn't like that good of a game, and I kind of wanted to watch a little bit of the Colorado game, and I was kind of moving around. I wasn't just like ready to sit downstairs in my basement with my 2 TVs and just kind of lock in on Saturday. And I don't really do that often with college football, I admit. If there's a really good game, I'll watch, as I kind of watch some of the Texas-Alabama game. But yeah, it was a little annoying that I couldn't just flip around on TV. So I didn't end up watching a whole lot. I saw what I needed to saw. I saw them feeding Katron Allen in the first half and him running downhill and nobody really getting in the way. And it continued that way. He ended up racking up 103 yards on just 19 carries. Trayson Potts, 7 carries for 59 yards, 8.4 average. Jarreller only threw 4 incompletions. So, yeah, it was what we expected. It's a fucking 1AA team, and I cannot stand that these games are on the schedule for any team. Penn State, you're going to see the SEC at the end of the year. They all take a week off, and they start playing Southwest Missouri State University of the Southeast. I'm kind of kidding, but that might actually be a school. There's one fucking... of the Southeast. Is there a thing? No. Hang on. Let's look at Alabama's schedule real quick, because they always play some fucking bum. By the way, hook 'em! The Texas Longhorns roll into Chattanooga is their team this year. What about Georgia will play? It's all the SEC guys do it at the end of the year instead of at the start of the year. Football. Just football. Georgia does not do it at the end of the year because they have that Georgia Tech game at the end of the year that gets built in as the last game. But I mean, they played Ball State. They've played Tennessee Martin. So far, Georgia has played Samford, Tennessee Martin, and Ball State. Come the fuck on. Now that this shit's not going away. Now that I'm thinking about this, now that you're loading all these schools into the same conferences, the fucking SEC ain't going to play the Big Ten, and the Big Ten ain't going to play the SEC. That just doesn't really happen. You may get a couple of schools here and there, and you may get a Big 12 team like West Virginia and but now we're loading all these schools into the same fucking conferences. You got to expand the conference schedules, I think, now. Now that I'm just spitballing. This was not on my fucking rundown of shit to talk about. But I just can't stand the fucking cake games. It's so fucking Tennessee Martin, Samford, and Ball State. Penn State was playing fucking Delaware. Who else is fucking? Penn State's got another stupid ass game on the schedule somewhere here, I think. Yeah, fucking UMass. What the fuck? And I know this is how these schools make money, so that's why they do it. But, get the fuck out of here. But, yeah, now that all these schools are, all in these huge jacked up conferences, they're not going to play they're not going to schedule conference opponents and non-conference games, obviously. I think with doing all this, we have to expand out, 10 games. 10-game conference schedules. So, speaking of Texas, hook 'em. But is Texas back? Is Texas back again? Quinn Ewers goes into Bryant-Denny. And I want to say, as I bitch about all that, props to Texas and Alabama because these two games, they've played them the last 2 years now. I don't know if it goes back further, and I'm not looking. But this was a true home and home. This wasn't some bullshit at the fucking Georgia Dome or whatever the Mercedes-Benz or at AT&T Stadium or some dumb shit like that. They went to Texas last year. They went to Alabama, to Bryant-Denny in a night game this year. And both times the visiting teams went in there and won. So props to these guys for playing a real game against a real team at a real home stadium, not this 50-50 neutral site bullshit. So good on them. But yeah, fucking Alabama gets taken down by Texas. How fucking about it? Didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be roll damn tide right there in Bryant-Denny Stadium. But yeah, that was the game of the week going into the week, and it was I think the game of the week coming out of it. The other game getting a lot of press was Colorado. Obviously, they were hosting Nebraska, big time old school rivalry game. I think that dates back to the Big Eight of and then on to the Big 12, as well. So Nebraska's quarterback stinks. He is not good. Bad. Awful. Not great. Colorado didn't look great, but hey, they got it done. I mean, they didn't look great, and they win 36-14. They don't give up any points in the first half, only give up 2 touchdowns in the second half. What Shedeur Sanders here do this week? Yeah, 393 yards passing this week. Travis Hunter, only 73 yards. Only 73 yards. So that the Shedeur Sanders for Heisman campaign is in full effect now, I believe. Elsewhere. Utah was down to Baylor late, very late in that game. Ended up scoring, I think they scored 14 points. I got to find it. Yeah, 14 points in the fourth quarter to beat Baylor. So big win for the Utes to hold off Baylor and not drop one. Miami with a convincing win over Texas A&M, take the halftime lead and then just kind of hold on and kind of expand it in the second half. So a good win down there at the U. So I believe that jumps them up into the top 25. Wisconsin with a tough loss out at Washington State that has them fall out of the top 25. What their stats look like? The new look Wisconsin. Mordecai, 25 of 40 for 278. 1 touchdown. No interceptions. Interesting. They ran it okay. I didn't see any of that game. Saw none of that game, which is sometimes the case with college football, is that I just blank out on entire weekends. Yeah. And the only other game I had highlighted was Hawaii gets their first win. The old point shavers out there. The old Rainbow Warriors. They won. What was the final score? I put it so it's just top 25 on my list here. 10.5. What do you know? They covered. Did they score a late touchdown? Tell me these fucking point shavers scored a late touchdown to salt the game away. They scored a fucking touchdown with 3:20 left. Sons of bitches. They covered and hit the under. Interesting. You never know. You just absolutely never know with the old Rainbow Warriors out there. No top 25 matchups this week in college football. That's disappointing. Miami hosts Bethune-Cookman. There's another great game on Thursday night. What do we got Friday night? Virginia and Maryland, Army and UTSA, Utah State and Air Force. Sweet. Yeah, two of the best games I think are, and obviously I'm biased in saying Penn State at Illinois. That's the Fox Big Noon game. I mean, after that, Iowa State and Ohio is a close one. Wisconsin's hosting Georgia Southern. Kansas State at Missouri, that's a 5-point line. That's a 15th ranked Kansas State team. Notre Dame, Iowa playing bums. Duke and Northwestern. Alabama's playing South Florida. Georgia's playing South Carolina, but Georgia's favored by 27.5. Then the best game of the weekend is Tennessee at Florida. Tennessee's a 6.5-point favorite. So that's the game of the week. There's not a whole lot enticing this week in college football. Not a whole lot enticing this week in college football. So, all right, let's keep rolling. Well, it's all she wrote for Cleveland this year, pretty much. After having a chance, giving themselves just enough of a chance after last week. This week started with a bang, but not for us, but for the Minnesota Twins, who scored 20 fucking runs on Monday. 20. That's 1 run in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the third, and then 4 more in the sixth, 5 in the seventh, and then just 2 more in the ninth, just to fucking cap it off. Oof. Duh. Oofta. So, now, that said, all hope was not lost. All hope was not lost. The next day, Tuesday, there's still some hope. Still just a little bit. It's tied 3-3. In the top of the 8th, Trevor Stephan in the pitch. Well, he gave up 1 run, but it was 2 outs. He had a chance to get out of the inning. I forget exactly what the scenario was, but I do know the next thing he did is when he hit a batter, Then there was a wild pitch, a pass ball. Now the bases are loaded. And Miles Straw completely misplays a ball in center field. I don't know if he thought he could get there and then realized late he couldn't. Ball gets by him. Doesn't get to it, then the ball gets by him. That was a bases clearing triple. Bases clearing triple. They end up scoring 5 runs in the 8th. They go on to lose 8-3. And that, losing the series to the Twins pretty much sealed their fate. They end up winning the game on Wednesday 2-1. The problem is, then they dropped 3 of 4 to the Angels. Even whatever little hope they had salvaged, there was little hope going into the final game, but they salvaged any smidge of it. Was given up by the fact that they lose 3 of 4 in Los Angeles or Anaheim, wherever the fuck are they? What are they now? The Los Angeles Angels again? Yes. So they're not the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I think the ballpark's still in Anaheim. So, yeah, so they lose 3 of 4. Starting this week, they have a series out in San Francisco with the Giants, and they host the Rangers, but they are 7.5 games back with just 17 to play. I think even if they go undefeated, they would need what? They'd have to win every game, and then the Twins would have to go, if they have 17 games left as well, they would have to go, 8-9? Yeah, because 9-8 might do it. Either way, it would require, something of the most magical thing to happen. They're not going 17-0. That's just not happening. So, and then the Twins aren't going to go 0-17. So the year's over. Hey, they got us to September. They got me to football season. Like that's my main goal of watching baseball. So give me something to do and watch in the summer and have some sort of sport to follow. And it worked. I'm happy. I enjoyed my time watching the Guardians this summer. I got to the point where I even call them the Guardians now. So, props to me. Props to them for making it, somewhat enjoyable. There's some decent pieces here still. We'll see if they can do anything in the offseason, find some, hidden gems somewhere. It's not like the Central's some great division that's just going to get stocked up next year. So, hey, there's probably still a chance. So, we'll catch a few games on the way out here, but it was good. It was a good run for him this summer for me. In no time whatsoever, we'll have a team in here to replace him. In the podcast, the Flyers will be getting started here in about a month or a little over a month, I think. And so it was a little bit of a disappointing season for the Guardians. I think there's a thought that they might be able to win the division and make the playoffs again, but baseball's a tough one. Oh yeah, we are literally a month as of tomorrow. When this podcast will come out of the Flyers getting started on their campaign. So, so props to Cleveland for a year of at least, keeping me interested for a while. So I'll still kind of fill you in. I'll toss it in. Maybe I'll just toss it in passing thoughts on the way out here the last couple weeks of the season. But hey, like I said, they got me to football season, so can't complain too much. Time for my passing thoughts. I can't get this hat. I've been fucking with this hat the whole time. It doesn't seem like it's coming on. Did I fucking bend it incorrectly? I might have bent it incorrectly. There's nothing worse than like a hat you like, but then you look at it sometimes you're like, why does it look like an idiot when I'm wearing it? And that's what I think sometimes. I think that about a lot of what I do because I think I might just look like an idiot sometimes. Quick fight stuff here. UFC 293, there was a bit of an upset. Sean Strickland, unanimous decision, 49-46. I believe everyone thought he won the first round. Some people thought that could have been a 10-8 round, but he fucking torched Izzy there. If he had another couple seconds, I think he could have put him out. But man, I saw the highlights. He was putting it fucking on him after that fucking right hand. It's so crazy, and I thought this when I watched the replay. you see him connect, and then something clicks in his head. He's like, fucking tagged him. Let's go. Like, now's my time. Like, we are going to finish this fucking thing. But yeah, so I saw he won the first. I saw Izzy won the second. And then everybody pretty much had it pretty universally that he won the last 3 rounds for the 49-46. It goes all 3 ways on the scorecards, I believe. And yeah, new middleweight champ of the world in the UFC, Sean Strickland. And that dude is an interesting person. He is very interesting to listen to talk. He says some fucking shit, and you're like, what in the fuck is going on? He was talking about shooting stray dogs. So he was out fucking walking his dogs, and he's like, rabid stray pit bulls came after him. He fucking shot one. He's like, geez, like this dude's fucking nuts. Izzy goes down for the second time at middleweight now. It seems like the Dana was kind of leaning towards rematch with this, so we'll see if Izzy can get his title back again. In the co-main, Tai Tuivasa, no shoeies for you today, sir. No shoeies. Alexander Volkov gets him by submission in round 2. I saw an Ezekiel choke was the cause of that submission. I have heard that Ezekiel choke. I don't know where. I don't know if it's from my brother, who's a fucking jiu-jitsu freak, or somebody else, or if I've heard it on Rogan or some other bullshit podcast I listen to, but who knows. Ezekiel choke was the cause of the submission, and apparently it's very rare, so just felt like I should say that. Nobody else on this card means anything to me. Looking forward, this weekend, Kevin Holland's fighting in the main event, or not in the main event, in the co-main. Maybe something worth checking out. Rafael Fiziev versus Matuzzi, versus Gamrot, and then the co-main of that is Bryce Mitchell. So, that's on September 23rd. How long has it been since Bryce Mitchell fought? Where am I? Thug Nasty. I feel like it's been a minute. Yeah, December. Okay, when he lost to Topuria, Ilya Topuria. December of 2022. So he has not fought in, by the end of the month, it'll be almost 11 months. No. Almost 10 months. It's like 9 months right now. No, it's like 10 months right now. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see him back. I actually kind of missed him the first time I was spinning through there. So, September 23rd. Ooh, that's an earlier one. Starts at 6 p.m. I like that. This one is October 7th. I don't even know who those guys are. 14th, nothing. 294, a little interesting. End of October 21st. Makhachev is fighting Oliveira again. Hazmat versus Paulo Costa. I would love to see Paulo Costa knock him the fuck out, but that's not going to happen. Where is this one happening? Because these are all like Makhachev, Hazmat, Nasruddin Imavov, Magomed Anakalov, Mohamed Makaviv. I mean, there's a trend there, if anybody's noticing that. Let me see where that is. UFC 294. Abu Dhabi. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right. But yeah, the one that I'm looking forward to coming up is in November. John Jones back in the ring. Stipe this time. Rest of the card, who cares? It's fucking John Jones is on the card. It's the GOAT. All right. Moving on. What else have I been watching? Jack Ryan. I finished Jack Ryan up. I said it was kind of a meh show. It got better. The last couple episodes were good. It got better in the last couple episodes. So if you can deal with like the setup, and it's not bad. It's kind of paint by numbers, spy thriller, but it gets pretty good to finish. So the finish was good. It was a pretty satisfying ending to the series. The first season by far the best. How many seasons were there? Were there 3? No, there were 4. I think there were 4. This was season 4. The first season was very good. Yeah, the second season was solid. Third was whatever. And then the fourth was okay. See, they actually like the third and the fourth better than the first. I thought the first was the best. Who knows? It's been a while since I watched it. I mean, that first season came out in 2018. 4-season show, and it went from 2018, 2019, and they took off 2020 and 2021, and then so 6 years for a 4-season show. I mean, how many episodes even were there? I mean, it was only 30 episodes. There's only 6 episodes this season. 8 in the last, 8 in the one before that, and 8 in the first one. Yeah, the first one was my favorite. So, yeah. So what else have I watched? Oh, Harry Potter. Harry Potter movies. We have made it through 6 Harry Potter movies. Have enjoyed most of them. 3 and 5, I would say, would be my best. That would be the Prisoner of Azkaban, and then what's 5? Order of the Phoenix. 6, just watched 6. Like, nothing happens in that one for like the entire fucking movie until like the last 15 minutes. That one, whatever, not my favorite. 4, also not my favorite. So just 2 left onto the last book. But yeah, onto the last book, then we will be going from there. So what else? Oh, Winning Time. That show is fantastic. I fucking love it. It's funny, like, looking back and seeing on some of the things that like wouldn't happen again today. Like, there's a scene in one of the recent episodes where they announced Pat Riley and Jerry West as like co-coaches, and it's like a spur of the moment, press conference. At least the way it's shown that like Pat Riley doesn't even know what it is. There's no chance anything like that happens. They know, hey, maybe that's not exactly how it happened then either, too. But there are totally things that would. There are totally things in that show that would still happen today, like Magic Johnson demanding a trade. Like, that is totally a thing that still happens in the NBA today. So it's a fun show. I really enjoy it. It's great. The thing I saw though was that it might not be getting renewed for a 3rd season. Like, I saw like thing kind of pop around that like the viewership numbers aren't great on it, which is too bad because I think it's fantastic, and I would be very upset if it doesn't get renewed for a 3rd season. So if you like basketball, if you like fun shows, just go watch it. It's a fun show to watch. Foodie things. First of all, I love me some subs. I love me some sandwiches, and there's nothing better on it than a little Leroy sauce. I picked up some Leroy sauce when I was back in Towanda. Chef's kiss. Miss that place. That fucking Leroy's was a great restaurant. Miss it. The roommate has been making some salsa lately, and she can't contain herself. She keeps making this salsa that's hotter than fucking Satan's asshole. Our own tomatoes, our own jalapenos. I mean, she just keeps dumping all the seeds from the jalapenos in there. She's like, I don't know why it's so hot. I'm like, honey, you gotta not put all the seeds in. Maybe put like 1 jalapeno with seeds in. But I mean, she toned it back. I think in the first one she put like 4 or 5 jalapenos with all the seeds in. Like, you would eat it, and it was very good, which was the problem, is I want to keep eating it. And then you'd be like, holy shit, my mouth's on fire. It's like a fucking slow release, too. It's like you eat a couple bites, you're like, oh, it's hot, but it's not too bad. And then, like, you're like 15 chips in, and you're like, not good. Not good. It feels like my mouth's going to burn off. I had to fucking drink milk the first time. It was so hot. So good, but so hot. So there's also this little apple orchard that has some apple cider donuts, and oh my fucking god, these things are so fucking good. It's just this little hut in a field, and they got pumpkin patches around and an apple orchard out back and a little shop, and then they sell these donuts out of a little trailer right next to it, and they're so fucking good. And they came out and they were hot. They came out hot and warm. There's some things in life that are hard to explain how good they are, and those things are it. Some things elsewhere in the past week here. Saw that just this past week it was the anniversary of Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken broke the consecutive games streak in MLB on this date, which was September 6th, so just a few days ago. played his 2,131st consecutive game that broke Lou Gehrig's Iron record and set the new MLB Ironman streak, one of the most unbreakable records in sports. You know what the crazy thing is? And someone comments this center. Then he played 501 more games. 501 more games after breaking the record. He didn't just break it by a couple. He broke it by an absolute fucking assload. He broke it by 3 seasons worth. 3 seasons worth. That thing will never be broken. 26-32. 26-32. Divided by 162. That's 16.25 straight seasons. Absolutely incredible. Speaking of Ironmans, the Ironman was happening in the Madison, Wisconsin area this past weekend, and avoided the big one on Sunday. Didn't leave the house, just stayed home. They do the half the day before, and it's annoying. It is, but I won't even bitch too much about the actual Ironman because those people out there doing the Ironman, good for you. That shit is hard, even if it's a fucking half. Props to you. My lazy ass sat in the fucking couch in my chair all day on Sunday. I walked the dog, I cleaned the house a little bit, and then I fucking sat around and drank beer. So I'm not going to fucking say too much about dudes and ladies who got out there and swam for a mile, ran 13 miles, rode their bike for I don't know, what is it in a half Iron? Hang on. Ironman requirement. Is requirements the right thing? It's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then a 26.2 mile run. So it's 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike, and then a 13.1 mile run. I'm not saying shit about you guys. Fucking props to you. I couldn't do it. You know what I'm going to bitch about? The motherfuckers that come watch. It's already bad enough. I'm driving home and they're on the road, kind of in my way. But hey, you know what? I'll get over it because you guys are doing something. You know what I'm not getting over? Fucking standing in my way? You fucking assholes with signs. Go, Jimmy, go. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck off. Stand on that side of the road. They're on the right side of the road the entire time. Stand on that side. Don't stand on the fucking other side where the fucking cars are driving. And then I'm at this one point that seems to be a congregation of everybody, and all these fucking idiots are standing in the road. The cops waving me through. He's like, get going. Come on, we gotta get you through. I'm like, there's fucking 8 assholes standing in the road with 2 signs. Go, Jimmy. Get the fuck out of the way. I literally was pulling up and kind of creeping up to be like, hey, I'm here. I'm here. And they weren't fucking moving. They were just fucking standing in the way. Just fucking standing right in the goddamn way. I'm like, you fucking dicks want to move? Or you're just so important, I got root on Jimmy. Yeah, go, Jimmy, go. Get the fuck out of the middle of the road. Just get the fuck out of the middle of the road. All right. Fun thing. I love it. It seems like it's every year now. The Coctagon makes an appearance on social media come football season. Barstool or somebody is at Penn State and they find the Coctagon. And what a thing the Coctagon is. I don't even know if it's an actual octagon. There's 5 or 6 urinals just in a circle in there. And if you've ever been to a tailgate, or if you've ever been to a Penn State tailgate, Penn State is where I have my thing from. And, other tailgates, it's not quite the issue because you don't just get the conglomeration of people. Penn State, it's a fucking field around the stadium. And it's 200,000 people are at all these tailgates. So, going to the bathroom can be a disaster. It's one line, it's one fucking porta potty, you're in and out. The Coctagon, however, you fucking shuffle people in and out. It's 5 or 6 stalls. You just kind of work in. Whoops. Whoopsies. Little active hands here. Active hands. The Coctagon, you just kind of work yourself in there. Did I fucking break this? I might have. Who knows? So yeah, the Coctagon, you just kind of work yourself in, you work around. It's just an absolute treasure known to man. So love when I see the Coctagon making the rounds. Last thing I'll leave you here with. Today is the 22nd anniversary of 9/11 now. Obviously a horrible day, but there are a lot of great stories of people doing miraculous things just heroic things. The red bandana guy. You can hear a million stories about people helping people, the firefighters and the policemen who went into the building. So just a little, just a little remembrance of all those awesome people who did incredible things on just an absolutely awful day in our country's history. So just want to throw in just a little reminder there. Never forget was kind of a thing, and sometimes even many people forget about how awesome some of the things that some of these incredible people did on that day. So just end with that, and we'll go wrap this thing up with closing time. Closing time, everybody. As I don't know, you may or may not hear Boomer tossing his bowl around here. Just want to say thank you once again, everybody. So thank you so much. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you. Boomer, let me show you Boomer down here. He's brought me his bowl. Oh, now he's tossed it on the ground in disgust. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening, for watching, for hanging out. Really appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Back next week. As always, we got more football to talk about. We're in it, boys. It's football season. It's exciting. Just some schedule stuff. I think we've kind of figured out, if there's a Monday night game that I'm going to watch and want in the pod, I'm going to stay up and probably record something that night and, have it shot over to producer Kevy, who's the absolute best. So everyone say thank you to him if you know him. We're going to send it over. If he gets it back to me that night, sweet, and then I can get it out first thing in the morning, great. If he doesn't, no worries. We're just going to kind of, get it out later that afternoon. So I think we're going to keep the Tuesday pod release, but it could be later in the day some days. And there's going to be days where I'm going to look at the Monday night game and go, I don't give a fuck. And we'll have the pod out like normal. There'll be nothing to it. So that just keep an eye on that going forward. Tuesdays are going to stay, but some days it may come out later in the day. So, that wraps everything up, and back next week. Oh, sorry, one more thing. This Boomer shakes and scratches himself here and makes all sorts of noise. Are planning on doing a Ryder Cup preview that's going to come out the week of the Ryder Cup. So not next week, but the following week there will be a Ryder Cup preview. So getting excited for that as well. So, all right, that's everything. See you next week. Till then, peace.